the diocese is going to hire 3 new regional youth directors, and that will be done by 2019. And why the need for 3 regional directors?
Well, I think it has to do with the size of our diocese. You know, we may be the smallest diocese area-wise in the state of Florida, but it's very dense, you know, very heavily populated. And currently, we just have a diocesan director of youth ministry who is trying to serve each of the 81 parishes and missions in our diocese. So that's a bit of a challenge. So my thought and our thought was, if we are going to make this a priority, we need to be willing to devote resources to make it happen.
So will the resources stay at the diocesan level, or will one of these regional directors be assigned to cover a deanery, or how does that set up?
I can see them being placed throughout the diocese. I can say this with certainty: they will not have offices here at the pastoral center. They'll actually be out in the field so that they're more accessible to our parishes and to our youth ministry staff at the parish. So they'll be located geographically throughout the diocese, perhaps one in Pinellas County, maybe one in Hillsborough, and one up in our northern counties that would serve that part of the diocese.
And would they, let's say there was a small parish, and would they also act as maybe the youth director for that specific parish if that parish could not afford to have even a part-time?
I don't know that I see that as being their role. I would see it more being to work with the parish, even if it's with volunteers, to form some type of youth ministry, to facilitate that process and help the parish to formulate a youth ministry program, rather than devoting much of their time to a specific parish to actually engage the youth ministry program there. So it'll be more in terms of facilitation and training with parishes that maybe currently don't have youth ministry established.
When I was a young person, and this was many years ago, we dealt with volunteers, and there was usually a paid part-time director. And then I've seen that ongoing through my entire life, really, as a professional here in our own diocese. And I see it, in other churches. But I know that I've also heard that we don't pay enough, that the economics lead to turnover in staff, and that's a challenge for the church, because it seems like we'll invest in some areas and not enough in others, and it seems like the youth ministries sometimes get the short end of the stick. Is that true?
I think there's truth to that. First of all, youth ministry is very demanding ministry. It's not easy. It can be very rewarding, but it's not easy ministry because of the hours that are involved, and typically you're talking about serving in the evenings or on weekends. So when everyone else is kind of relaxing, that's your kind of prime work time. So there can be some burnout or challenges to our youth ministers. In terms of their compensation, we try to pay fairly, but again, we rely on the generosity of our people to support these positions. And what I would say is that ministry is more than a job. People that engage in youth ministry do it because they have a love for our young people, and they want to help them to grow and to mature as people and in their faith. And as we often hear said, your reward will be great in heaven, right?
Right. No, I get you. So if you are at a parish that sees the value, and we all need to see that value in our young people, whether you're at a large parish or a small parish, remember, when you give to that offertory, it helps our youth ministry as well. So we ask you to be as generous as you can be.
Amen. I would affirm that, John. The only source of funding that we have for the ministries of our parishes is the generosity and the stewardship of our faithful, of our people that attend.